Disney 101 for 2021. What's new? What's normal? What's the new normal? We're going to cover all that on this episode of Ears on Main Street podcast with Todd and
Anomaly. Well, hello and welcome. I am Anomaly.
And I'm Todd.
And we're married.
Still. After our camping incident, or not an incident, our camping trip with some incidents. But we survived the rain, the broken tents.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's about the only down part, so not too bad for camping.
We should have gone to Disney.
Wish we could.
Well, as people are traveling more this year, speaking of camping, Disney's once again becoming a hot destination for families and individuals looking for a little magic in their lives after this pretty dismal year and a half. So here are some things to keep in mind when you're planning a trip for 2021. As Todd said, some things are kind of new.
Yeah.
Some things are same as they always have
Yeah.
been. And we're just going to talk about some of these things that you need to plan for when planning your Disney vacation.
Right. And so what's one of the first things is the dining reservations are now 60 days out. They used to be 180 days, which is, I think, is a really good change because, you know, you used to have to get on, what time you have to get up at 6 a.m. if you're on the East Coast, even earlier if you're in other time zones to make your dining reservations for where you're going to be eating in a year or half a year later. 6 months, 180 days. So
Yeah.
today being July 2nd. So let me ask you a question. Where do you want to eat on January 2nd? Tell me now. So 60 days is a much better time frame, I think, to make your selections for eating for where you want to have a sit-down meal. And remember, this is just for sit-down meals.
Right. And keep in mind that restaurants on property are slowly reopening. Not every restaurant that you want to plan to eat at, it might not be open. So keep that in mind and have a plan B. And in addition, most of the restaurants probably are still at a slightly lower capacity. They're not shoving people in like they were pre-pandemic. So a restaurant that normally may have been easy to get a reservation for pre-pandemic might be tough this time around. So I think it's good to just not put pressure on yourself, but just to kind of go with the flow.
Right. And speaking of making reservations, you still, I guess for the rest of 2021 and probably into 2022, you will need park reservations because they are still doing limited capacity in some parks. So not every park will be available.
Right. So a park reservation is basically just like a dining reservation, but for the theme parks. As soon as you, and really we can't stress this enough, as soon as you book your vacation, you need to go and make your park reservations because they are selling out for certain dates. And you want to make sure that little Timmy can go to the Magic Kingdom on the day that you're planning. And you can only do that by getting your park reservations. There are different supplies depending on what category you're in. Like if you're a resort guest, there are a limited number. And if you're an annual pass holder without a resort reservation, there's another limited number. It's not like a big pool open for everyone.
Right. Not like in the old days where you could just be like, let's go to Magic Kingdom this day.
Right. You have to, it is definitely more planning involved. And that's going to be tough, especially when planning your dining reservations. You can't just say, well, we'll go to Magic Kingdom and eat at Be Our Guest. You have to make sure to get your park reservation for Magic Kingdom and then make your reservation for Be Our Guest.
Yeah. And then also, speaking of planning, there's something new that is still going on. Had started in pre-pandemic times, was mobile ordering. Some of the places have opened up. When we're talking about our quick serve restaurants, have opened up for walk-ins. But what has happened in the past, or has been happening, is with mobile ordering, everybody that eats at noon tries to order food at noon, and all those reservations are taken up. So we recommend that you make your reservation or your order early in the morning for a certain time.
You will have to put your order in through the app, the My Disney Experience app on your phone. And like Todd said, the more popular times of day tend to fill up. Like there are only so many openings for a 12 o'clock pickup, right? Or a 12:30 pickup. So if you wait until 11:30 to put your order in for 12 o'clock, you probably are not going to be eating at 12 o'clock. You're going to be eating more at like 2:30 or 3. So you can, it's really super convenient. You can put your mobile order in at, say, 9 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning even, depending on what time the park opens, and set it for a 12 o'clock time frame. It will allow you to pick the time frame that you want. So that's really important. If you have a family member that has to eat at a certain time, you really need to be on it, order early, set your time frame, and then when you're ready to eat, you literally just head over to the place, hit I'm here, and you will be put on the list and your food made.
Yeah, they'll send you a text, and it'll say on the app that your food is ready. Proceed to, sometimes there'll be different places, proceed to slot 6 to pick up your food, and it'll be right there. You walk in and, give them your last name or your order number, and magically your food is there.
Yep. So that's definitely something that's changed in 2021. Mobile ordering used to be kind of like a secret that all the Disney pros knew about, and now it's everyone.
Yes.
And so the waits can get really crazy.
Right.
All right. Well, Todd, next we are going to talk about park hopping. Park hopping has definitely changed for 2021. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, park hopping used to be, park hopping is where you're going to go to multiple parks every day or in a certain day. And it used to be, back in the old days, Anomaly and I, we would get up and we'd go, we're going to, start at Magic Kingdom. Then we're going to have reservations at Epcot for dinner. And and then, hey, it's still 3 hours left to open at Hollywood Studios. So let's just run over there. But you can't do that right now.
So you'll make your park reservation as normal for the first park that you're going to for the day. And then at 2 p.m., when park hopping is available, there's actually a number. I don't have that number on hand, but there's a park hopping hotline that you can call and see which parks are available for park hopping, because if a park is full to capacity, you are not able to hop to that park, if that makes sense.
And so what Disney's also looking at, some of the popular parks, especially in the morning, like Animal Kingdom, a lot of times will have a earlier shutdown time, closing time, so they figure that some people will leave earlier because people will be there at rope drop and want to get it all done and then head back to their resorts, so they might allow more people in there. But, obviously sometimes the Disney formulas are very secret.
Yeah, so if you are a diehard park hopper, you might want to think about what your plan's going to be for that day, and then, again, have a plan B in case the park that you wanted to go to for the rest of the day is full. New for 2021, right? You used to just be able to willy-nilly hop all around the place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next we are going to talk a little bit about the hotels on Disney property. What's new for 2021 with those? Kind of on the positive side, we've got some new theming in some of the rooms. Contemporary Resort has new Incredibles themed rooms. Which is...
Are they open already? Or
I believe they are opening as we speak very soon. And soon to be at the Polynesian will be Moana theme rooms to fit in with their Polynesian theme of the resort. So that is really exciting, especially if you're fans of those movies and you like to stay deluxe, which don't we all?
Yeah.
But as of the date of this podcast, not all Disney resorts are open. So if your favorite resort is closed, you're going to have to pick a backup. Right now, the Port Orleans hotels are still closed down. The Polynesian is closed for refurbishment until mid-July.
Or all the other hotels that have DVC rooms in them that have regular hotel rooms, are they all open to the public for regular hotel rooms?
I believe Boardwalk is maybe opening today.
And are all the All-Star resorts open also?
I don't think so.
So as of this recording, there's some hotels that have still not opened.
What our information is right now is that Boardwalk Inn is opening this month. The Polynesian should be opening later this month. And Jumbo House, Animal Kingdom Lodge, should be opening in August. But there are still no opening dates for the Port Orleans resorts or the All-Star Music and Sports resorts. So if you're a big fan of the Port Orleans resorts, which I know a lot of people are, you're a moderate fan, you're going to have to choose between Caribbean Beach or Coronado Springs. Really, that's it.
Yeah. And no word, and nobody's really had much speculation what's going on with Port Orleans Riverside. I mean, it's kind of off the beaten path. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, are they going to refurb the rooms, or are they just not going to? I mean, obviously they're going to reopen at some point, but what is going on?
Right.
And also with the All-Star Musics and Sports, those are still closed, and those, are pretty big resorts, a couple thousand rooms.
Yeah.
And a lot of those, and also might be one of those things where a lot of those two resorts were used for team sports coming in to go to like the Wide World of Sports.
Yeah.
So, they might not have had many of those planned for 2021. So that might be also part of the reason. And also to force people into staying at moderates and deluxes if there's only one or two value resorts open.
That's right. But a good thing that's happening for Disney Resort guests later this year is the start of what they're calling early theme park entry, early extra hours. So instead of extra magic hours, which used to happen on various days for each park, like I know Magic Kingdom used to have extra magic hours on Wednesday evening, and I can't remember the others.
Essentially what it was is you could get into a park earlier, or a park would close later, and it was like a rotating schedule.
Yeah, for resort guests.
Yes. But now the new is going to be extra, what did you call it? Extra what?
Early extra hours.
Early extra hours, which is kind of misleading since hours is plural, and really it's going to be 30 minutes is going to be, and that's what they have, that's what they say. Sometimes, you do get in earlier to the parks, but there is no guarantee. So this is definitely a perk for guests staying at property, because also what would happen sometimes with the extra magic hour is like, a lot of people would go to one park in particular and kind of flood it. But now this is going to be every park every day. So definitely, if you're there early enough and then maybe you get in a few minutes early, you can beat the people that are staying not on Disney property. That's definitely, especially if you're going to be at the Magic Kingdom and it's going to be a very busy day, you can get in and you can, knock out a couple rides before a lot of more people get in there. There's definitely, we've done extra magic hours before, and you could see the crowds forming while you were riding. Like, oh, let's go ride that ride again and before everybody else gets in.
Yeah, so it's nice that Disney is bringing some perks back for hotel guests, because for a long time, and I hear a lot of talk that really there aren't enough perks, enough things to draw people to stay on property when there are so many cheaper hotels right outside the Disney bubble. So this hopefully will, start to be the onset of more perks for resort guests. The other thing I did want to touch on for deluxe resorts is there currently no club level. Club level, as you may or may not know, is what would you say, Todd?
Definitely a perk that you receive when you stay at a hotel club.
That you pay for.
That you pay for.
Yeah, so right, that club level has a lounge in most of the deluxe resorts have club level. I can't think of one that doesn't. So you pay an extra amount. The rooms, I believe, are the same, but you have access to the club level lounge. You have access to a concierge. In our experience at club level, they have a concierge that meets you and brings you to the building. Even if your room isn't ready yet, you can start to take advantage of everything that the lounge has to offer. So it's really nice, and you do pay a premium for it, but unfortunately it is just not available right now, and I assume that's because they don't want people mingling in a lounge, touching utensils that everyone else has touched.
Probably especially on an inside, because it seems like they're starting to be more lax about letting people be close to each other in the parks, but also I think it seems that if people are outside, the coronavirus is having a harder time spreading, especially if you're vaccinated. Also, another perk that's coming up, I believe, in October, is if you're staying at a deluxe resort, you're going to be allowed to stay in certain parks for longer at the end of the evening. That's about all the details that we have heard so far. We're not sure if it's going to be an hour, 30 minutes, and, be like a party where they would scan your Magic Band or your phone if you don't have a Magic Band to see where you're staying.
Right. Okay, so next we are talking about character meals. So character meals, for those of you who don't know, are meals around Disney property that feature different Disney characters. They have ones with princesses and Mickey and Friends and Winnie the Pooh, Chip and Dale, stuff like that. And pre-pandemic, they would come to your table, give you hugs, sign your autograph book. Well, obviously, 2021, that is looking a little different. First of all, character meals are no longer buffets for the time being. They are served family style, which is kind of nice. I actually prefer family style to a buffet because you don't have to, there's not the getting up and getting down, walking around the restaurant with a plate of food, especially with COVID. It's probably good that you just stay in your seat, right? So a server brings you your food, a large platter, right, with like some proteins and sides. You eat what you want, and if you want more, they bring you more. It's really nice. And then there's usually like a shared dessert that everybody gets. So there's that at character meals instead of buffets. And the other change is that obviously characters are not giving hugs right now, unfortunately. So what they're doing is kind of staying back and interacting with you from afar with waving and blowing kisses and making hearts with their paws, and you are still welcome to take socially distanced selfies with them and videos, but there's no signing of autograph books or high fives, handshakes, stuff like that, and that's just for health and safety. So it does make sense, but it is sad. Okay. All right, next we are talking about just something to be aware of that, Disney last year when they opened in July of 2020, their park capacity was what, Todd, do we think around 20%?
20 to 25%, yes.
20 to 25%. It was really, really easy to stay socially distanced. It was hard to be next to somebody. They had social distancing markers in the queues for all the rides. The ride vehicles were spaced out so you weren't right next to someone on a doom buggy at Haunted Mansion, and they had plexiglass. So that stuff is starting to be done away with. I think the plexiglass is coming down. Social distancing markers are coming up off the ground. And the park capacity is getting bumped up.
Yeah, I don't think really Disney ever says what their park capacity is now, but it definitely seems that from the videos we've seen that the number of people being let in has definitely increased, and I feel that it will continue to increase as this year goes on.
Yeah, Todd, that just basically means there's going to be more crowds.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to social distance. So I would say if that's a concern to you, if you have someone in your family that can't be vaccinated or is at, higher a risk for catching a virus, that you might want to hold off until 2022.
Yeah.
Or later. I guess they're really assuming that most people are getting vaccinated.
Right, and if you're saying if you are vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. And a lot of people are not wearing masks, and so we are going to assume that they are vaccinated. So do with that as you may.
Right. Do with that what you will.
Do with that what you will. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just something to be aware of.
Yeah, because I definitely would think, I mean, we haven't been, but we have seen videos that in the past, there would be the social markers, no longer there. So people are going to be right behind you and right in front of you throughout the day. We actually saw a video of people riding the boat over to the Magic Kingdom, and they pretty much just told everybody to squeeze on in, just like they used to in the old days. So,
So that's definitely something that's back to normal.
right. So yeah, definitely the park capacity we feel that are going to continue to go up.
All right. So another thing to talk about is magic bands. Now, if you have been to Disney since about 2013, you'll know that you would choose magic bands for your family before you left for your vacation, and they would arrive, and it was always a really magical day, and you'd take an Instagram photo of your magic bands. Well, 2021, Disney is no longer supplying free magic bands for your party for your upcoming vacation. I think they're doing this for a couple of reasons. One is they want you to use your phone more. Right, so they're making now technology where you can have your theme park pass, your hotel room, I believe, all available on your phone.
And also on your
Apple Watch.
How about an Android watch?
That I don't know.
Okay, I would think that would be part of it, but all the information that would be on your Magic Band and Pass is going to be included on your phone.
So now there's something called a Disney Magic Mobile Pass. On your My Disney Experience app, you will, I think, have a spot for this. We haven't actually used this yet, so it's something that we're just kind of...
But knowing Disney, they've researched this, and it's probably fairly simple for you to use to be able to use as your pass to get in to the parks and get into your hotel room, because in the past you used to be able to use your phone when you were close enough to open your hotel room, and also for mobile ordering because you have a credit card associated when you sign up, so they can just charge that when you are at the parks.
Yeah, so it looks like from what I'm seeing that you can use the Magic Mobile. It says Disney Vacation Essentials right from your phone. Enter theme parks with a valid theme park reservation and a valid ticket or pass, and connect your Disney PhotoPass images to your account. It looks like you're going to be able to do a lot with this, and it's very cute, and you can add it to your Apple Wallet. Okay, great.
And something about Google Pay also.
Oh, great. Yeah. So it's just a really cool new thing, making magic bands not completely obsolete. And if you want to use your magic band from a past trip, you absolutely can. But this is kind of, I don't know, why do you think they're doing away with magic bands? Just because of the cost?
The cost and the technology. I mean, you probably can get more stuff on the phones, better tracking of people.
Yeah. All right. So that is something definitely new for 2021. And I believe the next thing we're going to talk about is probably the thing I'm most excited about, Todd. And that is the 50th anniversary celebration that's starting this October. So the Magic Kingdom on October 1st turns 50 years old, and if you know anything about Disney, you know that they love a celebration. Mm-hmm. So
this is going to be an 18-month celebration for
18 long
and
months.
all the parks are going to be involved too.
Right. So the celebration is called the World's Most Magical Celebration. It's going to consist of probably a ton of things that they haven't yet released, but what we know so far is there's going to be a new nighttime show at the Magic Kingdom called Disney's Enchantment, which involves music, fireworks, and projections which spread from the castle all the way down Main Street. So that sounds really, really fun. They are going to have a new show at Epcot called Harmonious, and that's in the World Showcase Lagoon. It's going to have pyrotechnics, fountains, and lights. They are also going to have what they're calling Beacons of Magic, which is basically for each of the park's icons: Cinderella Castle, Spaceship Earth, Tree of Life, and I'm guessing they're doing either the Chinese Theater or Tower of Terror.
I think Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios. They're going to be just kind of dressed up for the
Right.
50th.
There's a new iridescent, I believe.
Right.
Iridescent.
Iridescent
is the color.
The theme.
Yes.
Mickey and Minnie and all the characters are going to have new costumes.
Mm-hmm.
And the cast members, I think, are going to have new name tags with iridescent. Animal Kingdom is going to have a new show called Disney Kite Tales, which involves kites, and I call them wind socks, but the things where wind goes in, and I don't know, it sounds like it's going to be neat. I can't really picture it. It's like 3D kites of animals and characters. Another part of the 50th is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will be opening on October 1st at Epcot in the France Pavilion. That's a long-awaited ride.
Yeah, it's been, a lot of people think it's been done for a couple months now.
Right.
And it's a very popular ride at the Disneyland Paris. So they brought it over to America and definitely have added on to the back part of the French Pavilion at Epcot. So yeah, definitely people are very excited about that.
Yeah, so there is a lot of stuff going on, and if you can't get there on October 1st, don't you worry, because it's going on for 18 magical months.
So you can make October 1st, 2022.
That's right. You could even do it.
Be out there the 51st, which would still probably be, all of them are going to be magical, but from what we've seen in the past, a lot of the times, though, the day of anniversary, there's a lot of merch. A lot of characters are brought out that you might not see, so they're going to really knock it out of the park for that day, hopefully, because we will be there.
We will be there, and of course we will give you guys a trip report.
And when did we make our reservations for that?
It was late winter, early spring, I believe, January, February.
Yeah, pretty much the day the reservations were available.
Yep.
Just so to make sure we could be there.
So it's going to be really exciting, but around that time, and probably, I can't say for sure, but I would think late September to the end of the year, it's probably going to be pretty crowded.
Yeah.
So if you don't like crowds, but you still want to see the 50th anniversary stuff, just wait until 2022. It'll still be there for you. Another thing I wanted to touch on is the Boo Bash coming to the Magic Kingdom this autumn. Actually, I say autumn, but the dates start in mid-August up through Halloween. And that is like a modified Halloween party where there will not be a parade or fireworks, but there will be characters roaming around in cavalcades.
Yes.
There'll be trick-or-treating, and you can get dressed up in costume.
Yeah, and it's going to be 3 hours as opposed to, the 5 hours that the Boo to You party was, but you can also get in a little earlier, like you could with the Boo to You party. But
I think what Todd means to say is the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween
party. Yes, they used to run from 7 to midnight usually. This is going to run for 3 hours, so I'm not sure exactly the hours, but also when you did have the Mickey's Not So Scary, you could get in at 4 o'clock to the park. So if you didn't have a reservation for that day, you still were able to get in. And I believe for this one, they're saying you can get in starting at 7 o'clock.
I believe that's
so
what
like
I've
2
heard.
hours before. And also I believe it's going to be like some of the other parties where there are going to be unlimited popcorn, ice cream, and Coca-Cola. So sugar fans, you definitely can get there because you could just have a Coke on top of your ice cream and then put a Snickers bar on top of that from your trick-or-treating. Nobody knows how many tickets they're going to sell, but I would think for the price tag that they have for this, that it's going to be a very limited amount of tickets.
Right.
And
it's selling out already at certain dates. I think Halloween has sold out already.
Yes. So, if that's always a fun time to go to, we've enjoyed the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party in the past. Oh, and also, I don't think is there going to be a stage show?
No, I don't think so.
In the past, there would be a stage show with the Sanderson sisters.
Right. So I think tickets start at $129 for August and September. And Halloween and October 29th are sold out. And so the most expensive ticket is in October for $169. So if you're looking to add a little extra park time, or you really Halloween is your thing, then you might want to consider doing the Boo Bash. But it won't be quite as involved as the Mickey's Not So Scary. There will be Maleficent, the dragon, and the ghost outside of Haunted Mansion, Miss Carlotta, I believe her name is.
And the Cadaver Dance.
Oh, and the Cadaver Dance, yeah. So there will be definitely some fun stuff. I don't know, Todd, would you do that for the money?
No.
No, yeah.
I mean, no, probably not. Because, I mean, we have done the Boo, and just, it's like, how much candy and how many sodas can you drink and eat within a 3 hour while trying to ride rides? Because, you know, one of the things they're definitely selling on the website is enjoy shorter waits for over 20 Magic Kingdom attractions. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's great because we have done these parties and you can do a lot of rides, but the price seems a little higher than I would think.
Yeah. I mean, if you've been saving up your pennies, then, you know, and you really want to be able to dress in costume at the Magic Kingdom, then, you know, it might be something that you want to go for. But otherwise, I would say skip it. Wait until next year. There's one more thing I wanted to touch on, and that's a very important addition for post-pandemic Disney times, is that there are no longer fast passes right now. So that's going to definitely change the way you tour the parks. We used to recommend, you know, getting there at rope drop, doing your fast passes pretty early, and then you can continue to get fast passes throughout the day. But with no fast passes, you're really going to have to get there early and do the popular rides first thing in the morning before they get crazy. Because
it'd be one of those things, is just like, well, we can't ride that and the wait's so long. We can try to get a fast pass now, because sometimes you could continually refresh and they pop up, or you could be like, well, let's get a fast pass later in the day. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to sit in line, and the times posted have been fairly accurate. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, there are definitely times where it'll be posted and it's much quicker, and unfortunately sometimes it goes the other way too, where it's posted at 10 minutes but you wait 20 or 30 minutes.
Right.
But Disney has been pretty good in the past about, you know, posting times and being fairly accurate. Obviously sometimes you might get in line and there's a ride breakdown. Things happen.
Right. All right, well, that is our Disney 101 for 2021. I hope you found it helpful. It's never easy planning a Disney vacation, but with all the changes that have been happening, you know, almost on a day-by-day basis, it's really hard to keep up with what you need to know. And that's what we're here for, right, Tom? Mm-hmm. So we thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. Please give us a follow, give us a subscribe, all the things.
Buy us a coffee.
Buy us a coffee with the link on our webpage. And we look forward to seeing you guys and talking about Disney next week. So until then, take care. Stay magical.
Bye.